Well, it's been 8 weeks since my third prolotherapy treatment for my shoulder and my back. And I'd like to report in and just say that things are improving. Um, One thing that it's small, but it really has been a big annoyance for me is when I try to decompress my ears by swallowing. Um, this ear works, but this ear has typically not worked, and now it now they work pretty much exactly the same. If not exactly the same, it's real close. So that is huge. I don't have this sense of pressure in my ear like I used to. Um, Another improvement that I've noticed is when I used to overhead press, I would feel a muscle that was like super tight snap over another muscle, and that was really uncomfortable. Kind of evidence that something wasn't right. But now that doesn't happen anymore, so that is also really good. Um, I used to have knots and stuff in my back, probably in like the rhomboid area, and I have less knots. We'll get to that in a second, but so knots are less, and also I used to crack my neck all the time, probably like like the C5 part. I used to go like this and crack it all the time. Now, even if I like try to crack it won't. So that tells me that things are stable. Things are where they should be. Um, I also don't have pain like I used to, and um, right around, I don't even really see, but right here, it's the lateral side of my quadratus lumborum, and I used to have pain there a lot, and I don't have pain there anymore. It was addressed by Dr. Fullerton. Um, so things are starting to work correctly. It's easier for me to use my core than it used to be. Whether it's lifting, running, standing, sitting, I can engage it a lot more easily and maintain it a lot more easily. It used to tire a lot. Um, but there are still signs that things are not quite right. Um, since my third prolotherapy treatment, so over the past 8 weeks, I've had four uh, dry needling sessions. And so the first time he found knots in my rhomboids, and that apparently was really weird because even though it's like I have pain here, he kept looking at my lower trap because 9 times out of 10 it's usually the lower trap and it's almost never the rhomboid. But for me, I'm the special snowflake, so I had a lot of adhesions in my rhomboids, and when he addressed those, um, it felt amazing. It felt fantastic, completely normal. But later that day, I really started to feel spazzing, tightening, like here. And so, like 2 days later, I went and saw him again, and I was like, "Hey, this is freaking out." And he's like, "All right, well, that's a muscle. That's the infraspinatus." And so when he addressed that, it was really tight. It was really painful. But again, leaving the office felt really good. But it tightened back up pretty quick. And so, and also at this time, I'm like starting to be more active. So I started to have pain. As opposed to having pain down here, I started to have pain up here, like right. It feels like it's right underneath the rib cage, and it's right next to the spine. So my guess is that while my QL is starting to work correctly, other muscles which were not working correctly are being stressed even more and are freaking out about this. So anyway, saw him and he did some other new dry needling stuff. Put two needles in to around my spine, around the C5 joint, which controls the infraspinatus. He put two needles there, put two needles in the infraspinatus, and had electrical pulses go through them at a real slow rate. So it's kind of like a stims therapy. And that not only addresses the muscle, but it also addresses the nerves that are sending the messages to the muscles. Because if it tightens up that quickly, he said it's not really adhesions, it's more like your muscle is just really, really tight. And so we're trying to tell the nervous system, tell the muscles to relax. So it's like a way of going up to a next level. And I did feel better afterwards. Not 100% by any means, but I did feel better afterwards. Then, let's see. I have some notes here. And then, just because it was better, but it still, felt like maybe it could be addressed again, I went and saw him like the next week. Very thankful I have a federal employee health insurance program, by the way. So he addressed the infraspinatus again, and I've been more aggressive in my training, started doing a little bit of Olympic lifting, nothing heavy, but also I think I might be a little too aggressive in my return to exercise. But again, those muscles right here they got super tight, super painful. It got really uncomfortable to basically do anything. It was really weird. So saw him and he addressed those. And when he poked the particular muscle with the needle, he was like, "Wow!" Like it responded so violently that it really amazed him. So those muscles were super problematic, and I am imagining that if Dr. Fullerton looks at it under the ultrasound wand, that he will find some damage there. So, yay, more muscles to fix. So I'm definitely making gains in healing, but as we're uncovering, as we're addressing stuff, we are finding stuff that is that was otherwise unknown. So if I had to talk about my back, I would say that there's just the infraspinatus and the spinal erectors, at least right now, are really the only issues. But there's one thing that really concerns me about the infraspinatus being so tight as it is, and that's I'm really worried that it is so tight because I have that tear in my labrum, and my shoulder labrum. I mean, the tear in the shoulder labrum is the whole reason why I went to Dr. Fullerton in the first place. And he was like, your MRI results, they said that, it was kind of iffy. So, and there's all this structural damage to all these muscles, so let's address that. That's probably your problem instead. So, and so far it kind of has been. I mean, I've been very surprised with how many muscles have been affected and injured just by doing exercises. I'm really worried that this muscle, the infraspinatus and my tricep, are really tightening up in order to protect the tear in the labrum. Because if that's the case, then he's going to have to start to address the labrum, and that could be 3-4 sessions, and that would be, if there's 3 months between each session, that could be like a year, and that's just not something I'd look forward to. 2 years of 2 months on, 1 month off. That's not really my idea of a good time. So I'm hoping that it is just damage to the infraspinatus, and he'll address that, and it will be magically fixed. I think so, because there's a lot more muscles attached to the shoulder than just the infraspinatus, and all the other muscles seem to be behaving correctly, or the way they should. So I'm hoping that it's an easy fix, and it's not really an issue to deal with my joint. If it is a deal with my joint, I'm not going to be happy at all. Not going to be happy at all. So, yeah, I'll keep checking in, and until next time.